Well, what I'm going to do today is a really great upcycle using old tin cans. Some of these had dog food in, some of them had beans in, and I think some of them had soup in. And I always keep them so I can upcycle them. The first thing I want to do is punch some holes in the bases, because it's going to be important for me to be able to let the water out once I've planted them up. I've been looking forward to making this project for a couple of weeks. It's really easy to make some holes in them. All I've got here is a little nail, small hammer, and I'm just going to go around like this and knock the holes out. That way, I can put a few stones underneath at the bottom of these when I plant them up, and I know that the drainage is going to be fine for it. And that should be enough on each tin. Well, now I've got all the holes punched in there and they're ready. What I can do is cut out my animal shapes, because I'm going to turn these into some fun animal shaped cans. I've got a rabbit, a cow, a tiger, a sheep and a fox. I've coloured them in so I know what sort of colours to paint them once I've attached them onto here. First of all, I'm going to cut these out. So I've got the templates to put onto my metal here, which is just the cans that I've used. Now I use these cans a lot, these drinks cans. I recently did an 3D owl using them, and I've also done a video on how to get them nice and flat like that, and I'll link those two videos at the end of this video, so be sure to check that out if you want to know how I do it. These images I found out on Cricut and put in a Sharpie and got them to draw them, and then I've coloured them in. I did alter the images a little bit, but nothing much. But there's loads of free images around if you haven't got a Cricut. So I've cut those out now, and all I need to do is transfer my pattern onto these flattened sheets, and using a permanent marker I can draw around them and then cut them out. They cut out really easy using a pair of scissors. And I'll keep my little pattern because I'll need to refer back to that once I start to colour them and paint them. And I've got all the others cut out in there, including the legs that I want to fit. So now I've got everything cut out and I've got it all here in top of one of my big white pots, and that's what I'm using that for, and it's really useful. Now I'm going to spray each one of the cans in the base colour. So I'm going to do 2 white, 1 red for the red fox, 1 orange and 1 pink for the rabbit. I'm going to do that outside because I don't want to fill my room with the paint spray. While the cans are drying, what I'm going to do is paint these. Now I'm going to put the base colour on first, and I'm using enamel paints because these will work and they'll dry lovely and hard, and they'll be somewhat waterproof as well. Now I don't have a pink, and I certainly don't have one that matches the colour of the can. So what I'm going to do is make my own, and these mix really well together, and I'm not too worried that it doesn't match the colour that's going to be on the can at all. But this will make a nice pink. That's absolutely fine. And they may need more than 1 coat, but I don't mind about that. That's not a problem. But these do cover exceptionally well, as you can see. And they dry very, very hard. But you do need to let them dry for at least overnight, I would say. Although it's quite warm in my studio today, so they'll probably dry quite quickly. I love enamel paints. They work so well on so many different things. So that's the rabbit. I also need some pink for the tiger's mouth area, but I want it a bit whiter than what I've got there. So I'm going to add a little bit more white, so it's a bit lighter, and I can put that on roughly where I want it to go, and then I can let that dry. I've got a little bit here that I want to do as well, so that's coming up like that. It's going to come to about here, so all this bit here can be done. And the same for the cow and the sheep. My tins are all dry now, and they're ready to be decorated once I've finished doing the pictures. Now, as you can see, I've done the little sheep and the little cow. I finished them off, and they were really easy to do. All you need to do is really, if you've got a big area like this, is wait for the main area to be dry before you do the next one. And I've done all these by eye because I've already got my pictures painted. I know exactly what it is I'm looking for. I just have to give my little enamel paint a twist, bit of a stir, and then I can follow that. So for instance, I know that I'm going to have a stripe come here, and I can just fill those in like that and finish painting them. Just following my original design. These enamel paints are so versatile. I've used them a lot in resin now, and I'm using them a lot in my art studio, and they go such a long way. And you get great coverage with them as well. The only drawback of them is they do take a little bit longer than normal paints to dry. Than acrylic paints to dry. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish these off, and then I'll show you what I'm going to use them for and how I'm going to attach them to the cans. These are all lovely and dry now, so I just need to match the right feet up with the right pieces. I think they've come out great. And I now need to stick them onto the corresponding cans. And I'm going to be using all-in-one all-purpose glue for this. I know it works really well with sticking things like this to cans, but first of all I need to ensure that I stick my feet on first where I want them, because I actually want the feet come at an angle like that from underneath the item. And I find this is best used sparingly, but making sure that you give it all a covering and putting some on both sides. So you've got them on the feet there, but I'm also going to put some on here as well. Now try and avoid getting glue on areas that you don't want it to be, because this glue will strip paint off of things. Spread that about. I don't need quite as much on the main can as I do on these. I'll let them dry now for about 3 minutes before I attach them. So I'm ready now to attach these. I'm going to put them on there like that and then just push them down. And now they're on there, I can stick the cow head on as well. And I'm going to hold that down a few seconds. Now I could put some non-tack tape on it as well to hold it down, but I can hold this down. And you could paint these directly on the cans, but by doing it like this, you don't get all these little rivety bits. All this like concertina piece going on either. All that's left now is for me to put these little permanent stickers that I've made for using the Cricut and some vinyl on. And I've done a different sound for each one. And I'm only going to be putting them on random, like this, in random places, in random angles. And they go on really well on here. Obviously that one says raw. It probably should have said meow, but it's going to be a raw. I'll finish putting the rest on, then I'll show you them all done. These are all finished now, and I love them. I think they've come out really cute. So the bunny, I've put hop, hop, hop all the way around it. I think he's come out cute. You got moo, moo, moo on the cow, and baa, baa, baa on the sheep. Woof, woof on the fox, although I know that foxes actually don't go woof, woof, but I liked it. And roar on the tiger. Now these can be used for plants because we've put holes in the bottom, or you could use them for keeping your pens in, or really whatever you want. I think it's just a great fun way of upcycling some old tins, and I think they've come out great. I wouldn't give them to really small children. I don't think they're suitable for that. But other than that, I think they're absolutely great. Let me know what you think of them in the comments below. Put that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your crafting. Take care. Bye.